Right now, as you're watching this, there's a voice inside your head, narrating, commenting, maybe judging. It might be reading along with what I'm saying. It might be asking, wait, is he talking about me? And here's the thing nobody ever stops to ask. Where does that voice come from? Why does it exist? And whose voice is it, actually? Scientists estimate your inner voice generates the equivalent of 4,000 words per minute. That's 10 times faster than you can speak out loud. In the time it takes you to read this sentence, your inner voice has already had an entire argument, won it, and moved on. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what that voice actually is and what the voice you hear says about your brain, your personality, and your mental health. Quick question before we go any further. When you read a book, like silently in your head, do you hear a voice reading the words, like an actual voice with a tone and a pace? Or is it just quiet? A 2020 study by psychologist Russ Hurlburt at the University of Nevada found that roughly 25 to 30% of people experience no inner monologue whatsoever. Zero inner voice. They think in pure emotions, images, abstract concepts, but no narrating voice. When this fact went viral on Twitter in 2020, millions of people spent an entire day questioning the nature of their own consciousness. Scientists call it inner speech, or self-directed speech. And for a long time, researchers thought it was just talking to yourself, meaningless mental noise. But neuroscience has completely rewritten that story. Your inner voice isn't random. It's one of the most sophisticated tools your brain has ever developed, and it's doing something very specific. Research from Lev Vygotsky, the Russian psychologist who first studied inner speech in the 1930s, found that it begins in childhood as literal out-loud talking. Watch a 3-year-old solve a puzzle. They narrate every step out loud. Over years, that external narration gets internalized. It goes underground. Your inner voice is literally your childhood self learning to think. Your inner voice does 5 distinct things. It plans, running through conversations before they happen. It evaluates, judging whether what you're about to do is a good idea. It motivates, the "come on, you can do this" that gets you off the couch. It regulates emotions, narrating why you feel what you feel. And it rehearses identity, constantly writing and rewriting the story of who you are. Here's what makes this wild. When you have an inner voice, your larynx actually fires tiny electrical signals called subvocalization, as if you were about to speak out loud. Your throat is physically participating in your thoughts. Okay, this is the part I actually want you to pay attention to, because everything I'm about to tell you changes how you should be thinking about the voice in your head, like literally changes your daily life. A 2021 study found that most people's inner voice is predominantly negative, not neutral narration, active self-criticism. That was stupid. They don't like you. You are falling behind. Researchers estimate the average person has 6,200 distinct thoughts per day, and in people with anxiety or depression, over 80% of them are negative or repetitive. Your inner voice can become your own worst bully, living rent-free in your skull. But researchers discovered something incredible. The way you talk to yourself matters as much as what you say. Studies by psychologist Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan found that when people switch from first person, saying, "I screwed up," to third person, saying, "You screwed up," their emotional regulation improves dramatically. Calling yourself by name in your inner voice activates the same psychological distance as talking about a friend. You become less harsh, more rational. It sounds weird. It works. LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, and elite special forces soldiers have all been documented using third-person self-talk during high-pressure moments. It's not a quirk. Sports psychologists now actively train it. When? The inner voice, used right, is the most powerful performance tool you have. And if used wrong, it's the thing that holds most people back every single day. Okay, we've been circling this the whole time. You have a voice in your head. It talks constantly. But whose voice is it? Is it you? Is it some version of you? Where did it come from? This is genuinely one of the most fascinating open questions in neuroscience. And the answers researchers have found are not what you'd expect. Researchers found that most people's inner voice is not a single voice. It's a composite, assembled from fragments of the most emotionally significant voices in your life, your mother's tone of reassurance, your harshest teacher's criticism, a best friend's sense of humor. Your inner voice is not you speaking. It's a collage of every voice that ever shaped you, stitched into something that feels like yours. Studies using descriptive experience sampling, where participants are interrupted randomly throughout the day and asked to describe their inner experience, found that under stress, people's inner voice often shifts to someone else entirely. A parent, a boss, an ex-partner. The voice you hear when you're scared or ashamed is often not your own. It's a voice that once made you feel that way. The inner critic you've been living with your entire life might not actually be you. It might be an echo of someone you needed to impress a long time ago. The inner voice is real, it's physical, and it's one of the most powerful forces shaping your life, quietly, constantly, invisibly. It isn't fully you. It was built by everyone who ever had influence over you. But the fact that you can now hear it, name it, talk back to it in third person, means you are not at its mercy. Share this with one person who you think would completely lose their mind, finding out 1 in 4 people have no inner voice, because that reaction is going to be priceless. And don't forget to subscribe, because next week we're going into something even more personal. Something that happens to every single person every single day that science has a wild explanation for,